Hey, and welcome to another episode of the YouTube channel. So I've got something a little bit different for you guys today. This is something that I am really keen on. So I like to know the facts, the figures, the numbers, where the customers are coming from, how much are they costing me, how much money, does a customer pay me over the course of a 12-month period, and so on and so on. So when I first started, I decided that I did not want to pay for a CRM software like Cleaner Planner or any kind of organisation software where I was committed to paying a monthly fee for, whether that be 20, 30 or £50 a month, whatever it was. I did not want to commit to that. I also did not want to commit to paying, again, another 30 or £50 a month towards a accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero or any of those other ones. So what I decided to do was I actually found through some research someone had made an Excel spreadsheet. So I have not made this. Someone else had made it previously, and I think it's fantastic. So there's not much point changing it. So I just want to put that out there that I did not make this spreadsheet. However, so this is what I've been using to track my income and my expenses. Now I have made some alterations to this to include things like the payment type, the source of inquiry, but apart from that, this is how I found it. So the idea of this window cleaning expenses calculator is it tells you how much money you're making over a 12-month period. Now down the bottom here, you can see November, October, September. So you can see I use it on a monthly basis, and every month I just duplicate the spreadsheet, start again. And the reason why I do it that way is so that I can just track it on a monthly basis rather than looking how much the business will make over a 12-month period. That's why I have a master sheet there, which I then just calculate everything and add it over. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to walk you through this. So I've added account on the left hand side under expenses. The reason why I have that is because what I do is if it comes out of the business bank account, so there's enough money to cover the cost of the expense, whether that's buying more equipment, chemicals, tools, whatever, I then put business. So let's just say as an example, I've bought some fuel from Tesco's out of the business account. So what I would do is I would just put fuel, Tesco's, and then I would just put the date as an example, and then the amount. So £20 and a penny, because I can never seem to get it bang on 20 quid. And I'll put that down as a one-off payment. So here under frequency, there is a drop-down option. And when you change that, it does adjust the total here. So like it says, it tells you the annual. So if you know you're going to spend 20 quid every week on fuel, you can see quite quickly that that's £1,000 a year that you're going to be spending just on fuel to get two jobs and go around and quote. But like I said, I use this just for every month, so I pretty much have everything down as a one-off payment as opposed to any kind of regular reoccurring payments. So why I also have account here is if you have a limited company, you have something that's called director's loan account. Now, a director's loan account is where the director has loaned the business money to buy an asset, so that you can grow the business without obviously having the funds available. So you have what's called a director's loan account. I'm not entirely sure how it works with self-employed because I've never been self-employed. I've always had a limited company. So this is, the knowledge that I know. So I can't comment on, how it would work from a self-employed perspective. But as a director, so something that I purchased in October was the Skyvac Atom. Now, the business obviously did not have enough funds in there to be able to cover the cost of the Atom plus continue paying for the running cost insurances on the van and so on. So I put my hand in my pocket and I spent £800 and bought a gutter vac. The reason why is because obviously as we grow the business, I want to add on additional services that I can then upsell to my existing customers, my regular customers, to save them from going somewhere else and using someone else. They might as well keep everything in house because they know me, like me and trust me, which means it's easier for me to sell to them, and it's easier for the customer because at the end of the day they don't have to go and find someone else and worry about whether they're going to do a good job or not, and so on. So it's good to try and keep everything in house. So as you can see here, so I spent £800. I put it down as a one-off payment. So you can see total is £800. So then when we come to the income side, the two columns I added was payment and source of inquiry, or SOE. Now, with payment, so the two payment methods that we take are cash, which to be fair, most people don't do, or we take payments on a card machine. So we use the sum up one. So we can either take contactless payments with customers on the day on the doorstep. If they're not in, we can send them a payment link where they get a text with a link, so they can select the link and it takes them through to the page to make that payment. Now, obviously there are fees with the credit card fee, with the credit card machine. However, I don't want to spend my evenings sending customers messages chasing them for payments. I don't want to do bank transfers and then have to collate whether people have done it or not. I'm very much for a simple life to a certain extent. However, I like to know what's happening. So I would much prefer to make a payment to a credit card company of 1.69% and get the money today, rather than having to chase the customer and spending 2 hours of my day where I could be earning an extra 30, 40 or 50 or 60 pounds chasing people. I'd prefer to be out cleaning windows and making money as opposed to chasing customers. So I put payment here purely and simply because every time you have a payout from SumUp, they send you a transaction report of the ones that the customers that they paid out. So I put card on there just so I can then cross-reference to it if I need to, so I can refer back to it at a later date. So it's just kind of like ticking the boxes today so I don't have to worry about them in the future. Equally, if the customer did pay cash, which is very, very rare, I would just put cash just so I know, obviously, how the payment was taken. So SOE is the source of inquiry. The reason why I have this on here is because I want to know where my leads and my customers are coming from, because obviously if I can work out, okay, the source of customers that I'm generating the most money from are coming from, say, Bark or Checker Trade or a paid service, it's like, okay, well, if I'm spending, say, £80 a month with one of those paid lead generation companies, how much am I getting back in return? Well, by putting the source of inquiry in, I know how much I'm generating back, so I can know whether it's worth putting more money in to try and get more business out. Now, most people will say, the best source of inquiry is, door knocking or canvassing, whichever way you want to look at it. I found that so far, Facebook groups, so the free Facebook groups, the mums and dads groups, the local community groups, they're the ones where I've had the biggest success. So they're completely free to use other than your time of sharing the posts. And the second one is actually Bark. Now, I know a lot of window cleaners have said, don't use it, don't use those paid services, they're not worth it, so on and so on. Well, at the end of the day, everyone has different experiences, and what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you and won't work for everyone. However, I personally have found Bark a really, really successful tool. And I guess because when you look at the general paid advertising, so say Google, pay-per-click, PPC, or Facebook ads, with those, it's attraction marketing. So you're trying to attract people who are potentially looking for someone. So the customer is at the beginning of that kind of buyer's journey. They're like, okay, I've got a problem with the gutter, or I've got a problem because my windows are dirty, so I need to get them clean. So then they go out looking for those things. And then the way the advertising works is obviously it finds those people based on what they're looking for. Now with Bark, it actually kind of is the reverse of that. I would say they're probably more active, ready to buy customers from my experience, that is. If they've taken the time to put on, register an account and a profile on Bark, confirm and verify their details via text message with Bark, and then they've gone on and put the details of the job that they're looking for, and they've been transparent and they're telling you all the information up front. Now, I know obviously it's not always 100% accurate, and there are times where someone says, they're looking for. So, just as an example, at the weekend I went and quoted someone, and I spent 20 minutes driving over, and I have to take responsibility because I didn't properly qualify the customer. But it turns out she wants a traditional window cleaner. Well, that's not what we do. So I spoke to her about what we could do, and I found out what her problem was, and it was purely and simply that the previous window cleaner was water-fed pole, but he wasn't actually cleaning the window sills. And she said, the window sills, they need to be properly cleaned, and that's why I want someone, to go up on a ladder and so on. So the customer was quite happy that we'd gone through and had that conversation. So, we made a compromise and actually said to her, well, look, once every 6 months, if you're happy with it, I can come inside and I can clean the actual window sills properly so that they constantly stay white, which she was happy with. So I actually kind of on that one got lucky and it turned around. But 90% of the customers that I've had so far, like I've said, from Bark, have been pretty much spot on. But it's not just also, if they put on there that they're looking for a one-off clean, but then you do a really good job, you go above and beyond, and they're really happy, then that gives you the opportunity to either get them as a regular customer, or sell them some additional products or services. Now, when it comes to window cleaning, it could be the UPVC restoration. Perhaps someone wants all of the frames cleaned. Perhaps then they've got a conservatory, so they want the conservatory roof cleaned. Perhaps they want the gutters cleared out. Perhaps they want the guttering cleaned on the outside and the fascias and the soffits done. So there's always additional revenue that you can get from those people. But to understand fully how much it costs you to acquire that customer and how much does that one customer generate you over a 12-month period, you have to know where the source of inquiry came from. So even if it was a regular customer that I have, I would still put their original source of inquiry in here. Not for any monetary value, but just to know and just remember, okay, that person came from this location. Under name, I would then fill in some details, perhaps their name. So let's go Mr. Smith. And then I would also put maybe the address, so you know what it was. And then also kind of like the service. So if it was just a window clean. Now, under amount, obviously you'd put in the amount that you've charged the customer and the amount they've paid. It's probably a conversation for another day, but when it comes to card payments and the transaction fees, for this purposes, I don't include them. I just include how much the customer has paid on the day, and then I sort it out at a later date. So as an example, let's just say Mr. Smith on John Street paid us £25. We know it was done over card. Under frequency, you can change it to what you want. And like I said, if you had using this for this spreadsheet over the course of a 12-month period, over here under annual, it would tell you your income. So it says £25 because that's the only one there. But then if Mr. Smith had said he wants to have the windows cleaned every 6 weeks, it would tell you that Mr. Smith is worth £216 a year as a customer, as long as he has a window clean every 6 weeks for £25. If obviously he was monthly, Mr. Smith is worth £300 a year to your business. Now, if I knew that Mr. Smith was worth £300 to the business and I got the inquiry and the job for free from Facebook, well, guess what? I'm going to spend some more time organically trying to create inquiries and business from Facebook groups. Because if you can repeat that every time, how many of those do you need before you're in a really good position? Yeah. Equally, if then let's just say Mr. Smith decided he wanted you to do his gutters on the same day, and you charged him £80, and he said it's something he's going to have every year, you could then look at that and go, well, actually, do you know what? Mr. Smith is worth £380 every year to me as a business, and it was and he came to me for free. So I think this is it's quite a powerful spreadsheet because it enables you to see where you're going, but also track your income and your outgoing, and it's completely free. I use it, as you can see. I use it in a Google Doc. So I use a Google Drive. I pay like £4 a month for Google Business. And obviously you get all of the kind of like Word doc and all that kind of stuff included. So I can access this on my phone. So if I'm out on the road and someone makes a payment, I can add it manually if I want to, rather than waiting to get home to get to the laptop. So it's quite a powerful spreadsheet. But like I said, I like to just use it on a monthly basis. So for me, everything would always be down as a one-off payment. If I get a customer where, like this, they've said, they want the windows cleaned and the gutters, primarily what I would do is I would split it into 2 transactions. Even if the payment came in, say, as a card payment, and it was obviously the one payment of £105, I would still split it out, purely and simply because then I can remember, okay, Mr. Smith paid £25 to have his windows cleaned, and I charged him £80 for the gutter. Because obviously if he comes back to me in a year's time and I say to him, it's £120 next time for the gutters for whatever reason, because my prices have gone up, I could look back at that and go, actually, I only charged him 80 last time. So I could have that conversation with him. So it's just a good reference point just to try and track everything from day one. So like I said, if the other one was Bark, so if I knew that was going to cost me £5 to acquire a customer on Bark, again, equally, if the customer wanted, the gutters, fascias and soffits doing in one go, that could be £150. Well, if I've spent £5 to acquire that customer, then it's worth just keep going, isn't it? Because the more times I put £5 in, and obviously, with Bark you have to be selective, but the more £5 I can put in, if I can pull out on average, £50 to £100 per customer, then I'm on to a winner. And at the end of the day, you then just start putting more money into Bark to contact more people to increase the revenue of the business. So like I said, I think this is a really kind of powerful document, because you can then see where you're at. Now, I know it says annually, but obviously I work it on a monthly basis. So that says there, so you've income was £255 for the month. You spent £820. So this month you're at a net loss of £565. It just gives you, like I said, an idea of where you're at, but also helps you track your income and expenses without having to pay for any software or any additional kind of contracts and subscriptions. So hey, look, listen, I hope this has been helpful. If you think it has and you decide you would like a copy of this, then just drop me a message or leave me a comment on the YouTube. Obviously, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. All the links will be in the description below. But thank you for watching, and I hope this helps. And if, like I said, if you do want a copy, then just drop me a message, let me know, and I can send it to you completely for free. You don't need to give me any details or anything like that. I can just send you a link, and then you can duplicate the spreadsheet, and then off you go. But any questions, drop them in the comments. But thank you for watching.